Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. This is Matters on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. What are we talking about today? The governor and his deputy are expected to take over the leadership of the state today. Leadership of Rivers State, 6 months after President Bola Tinubu imposed emergency rule on the state. An excited crowd of supporters was gathered at the government house waiting to welcome Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Odu. Officials from the state emergency services are also on the ground. Fubara and his deputy had been away from the governance of the state for 6 months after President Bola Tinubu declared a state of emergency in Rivers, citing a political crisis. The former administrator, retired Admiral Ibokete Ibas, who handed over the reins of power on Wednesday night, urges political actors in the state to embrace mutual respect and dialogue in a state broadcast. Now, months after he was inaugurated as governor in May 2023, Fubara fell out with his predecessor and Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, over the political control of the state. Power struggles between incumbents and former governors are common in Nigerian politics. The political brawl also spilled to the House of Assembly, polarizing the lawmakers. The situation peaked when Tinubu declared a state of emergency on March 18 and also appointed and sworn in a retired naval chief, Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, retired, as the sole administrator of the oil-rich Niger Delta state. But in June, the president met with Fubara, Wike, Amawele, and other members of the assembly, signaling a reconciliation among the key actors. So that is what we're talking about today. You can call me Solo, you can call me Mr. Solo, you can call me Souls, S-O-L-S, you can call me Mr. Souls, but officially, I am Solomon of M. Welcome to Matters. If you're just tuning in, this is Matters on Voice of the People 90.3 FM with Solomon of M. And Rivers State House of Assembly has resumed plenary session after a 6-month state of emergency imposed on the state of President Bola Tinubu. On Thursday, President Bola Tinubu had lifted the emergency rule on September 17, that's yesterday, with the governor of the state, Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy Ngozi Odu, and members of the state assembly asked to resume duties on September 18. The governors and his deputy are expected to take over the leadership of the state today, 6 months after President Bola Tinubu imposed the emergency rule on the state. So the emergency rule is over, and the governor and his deputy and the State House of Assembly have been told to come back to their position. Now, joining me to help analyze this is Abiodun Bamigboye, acting national chairperson, Socialist Party of Nigeria, SPN. Comrade Bamigboye, thank you very much for joining us on the show today. Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Looks like we're finding it difficult to. Hello, sir. Hello. Looks like we're having problem. Let's see. I think it's technical issues we're going to sort out. Hello, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, good. Thank you very much for joining us. So let's go straight to River State, where finally the president has lifted the state of emergency in that state yesterday, and of course the governor and his deputy are expected to take over the leadership of the state today, 6 months after the president imposed the emergency rule in this state. Let me have your general overview first of the whole state of emergency, because there have been two camps. While some said the president has imposed the state of emergency against constitutional rule, that it is unconstitutional for the president to do that, and that the president is just trying to wield political power. Of course, the River State is known as a PDP stronghold, and the president, through the help of Wike, the FCT minister, they're trying to turn the tide in River State, trying to impose an APC rule in River State. You have another camp that said, well, Obasanjo did the same thing, so it's not exactly unconstitutional. What camp do you belong to and why?
Well, I think I'm more comfortable, or let me say I'm in support of the camp that feel that, or that held that the imposition of the state of emergency is unconstitutional and unlawful and also illegal. And the motive behind it is nothing but a show of political power. And that is why there's no better way one can describe what happened in River State as nothing but a descent to a civilian dictatorship. Those who feel that, yes, that Obasanjo did it, and try to use that to justify the imposition of emergency, I don't think that is a correct approach, because two wrong can never make a right. The fact that Obasanjo did it, doesn't make it to be right, because the country has a law that guiding its principles and its practice, and that is the Constitution. So anything that is outside the Constitution is nothing but illegal. And I think it's on that basis that the decision to lift the state of emergency is not something to be celebrated, because in the first instance, it's illegal. It's not even meant to be imposed in the first instance. It's at variance. It's a practice that is at variance, to what one can call a civil or democratic conduct. And I think it's on that basis that I strongly feel that, that reinstatement or lifting of state of emergency is not enough, and is not something to be celebrated. The Tinubu-led administration has a duty, to tender an unreserved apology, to Nigeria for circumventing the constitution of the country. And that's not enough. The illegal man, that was forced on the state for 6 months, itself has to be held accountable. All of the privileges that he enjoyed, for the period of 6 months, has to be retrieved, back for him. And all of the activities that he conducted while he's in office, should be seen to be legal. Take, for instance, the local government election that was conducted in that state by a legal, governor or state administrator cannot be seen to be legal. And that process itself has to be, reversed, and a fresh local government election has to be conducted in the state.
The question is, who will reverse it, though?
Yes, it should be done, through an agitation of the people, in the state, and Fubara, will have been expected to provide a lead to such a process. But unfortunately, the way and manner Fubara himself submitted, to that dictatorship, itself shows that himself, lacks, legitimacy. Because if it is a governor, that derive his legitimacy from popular mandates of the people in that state, it will have been difficult for someone sitting in Abuja, to declare that the mandate given to him, by the mass of the people in the state, should just be taken away just like that, and nothing happens. I don't expect myself, to be the governor of the state, duly elected by the people, and the president will now declare that I should leave the office that was democratically elected the way he himself was democratically, and you think I will leave that vacant that office? It will never happen. Instead, the entire state, even country, will be thrown into the state of anarchy. And, the government, the presidency and the president will have been held accountable, and responsible for such. But unfortunately, the Fubara himself, doesn't appear to have emerged as the governor of the Rivers State through a popular vote of the people.
What could he have done, though? Because you're talking about fighting a former governor. The immediate past governor. If he was two dispensations ago, to have been a different thing. But the immediate past governor that has imposed. He has a stronghold on the state. Let's not talk about the fact that majority of the state assembly members were still loyal to Wike, and of course, let's not talk about the further might he has, as at that time being the FCT minister. That's a very difficult battle to win. There are some people that have even said that, first of all, the fact that he decided to fight Wike to be a man of his own. That was a battle that was too quick. Some are saying he should have done a much more better political calculation, better political mathematics. Wait until he has certain mechanism in place for him to be able to fight a battle with someone as strong as he is on Wike. So people are already saying that was a good battle fought at the wrong time.
Well, it wasn't any. It did not even. Stage any battle in the first sister, because if it is prepared to wage a battle, both the Wike and the presidency are including their agents in the State House of Assembly. They are defeatable. That is, if Fubara himself has emerged through the mass, mandate of the people in Rivers State. But you and I know that
according to a report, they still had some pretty good supporters there. Non-political supporters actually. But
the support he has was not consolidated upon, and that was because Fubara himself was not sure of his power. Because if it is a governor that has a base rooted in the mass of the people, you can be rest assured that, the kind of support that he enjoyed at the early stage was just a potential of what could have happened if it's a governor that has his roots, in the midst of the people. But you and I know that is not the case. The base, the support base for Fubara administration in Rivers State, were largely revolve around the supporters of Wike. And that's why Wike feel that, just like something that happened here, in the early stage of civil rule in Oyo State, when Adedibu felt that Ladoja does not have power to determine what happens to the security votes that he takes in the state, because he's the base for his regime, so that he feel that he should be the one to determine what happens to security. That's the same thing that Wike is also trying to do. But had it been that Fubara ab initio, emerged through a popular vote in Rivers State and is ready to consolidate on those supports, it would have been difficult for Wike and presidency, to perpetrate the kind of aberration, they did in that state through the imposition of state of emergency. And all that it just needs to do is, it doesn't require, a rocket science. They can withdraw their police, they can withdraw whatever they claim they are from the federal government. All it just needs to do is to set up a community, defense committee, for the people, and call a conference of the genuine working people in Rivers State, the civil servants, the students, youth, and you saw that the local government workers, whom their salary has been stopped for months because of, embargo placed on the local government allocation. And if he has done all of this, you can be rest assured that the state itself will become unreachable.
You think you think you'd have been able to do that without the power of the State House of Assembly that were largely loyal to Wike?
The State of Assembly, they've already agreed to the state of emergency. They've agreed to their removal. So the state of emergency doesn't exist any longer. The only state of emergency, by the time it begins to do that, and said that, the state of emergency, is no longer in place, and the few ones that with him continue to run the House of Assembly, you can be rest assured that those ones, they will begin to come through the back door and take their position. They will begin to declare their allegiance, to the people of the state, because the people own the state, not the Tinubu, not the presidency, not Wike, not even those members of the House of Assembly. They emerged through constituency elections now, and if he has mobilized members of those constituencies, those ones will become isolated, and that would have been their end politically. But like I said, that could have been done if Fubara himself was a product of a genuine and democratically conducted election. Like I said, the opposite was the case. He was a stooge of Wike. The election that brought him to power was highly manipulated, highly, doctored, such that, if all things being equal, someone like Fubara wouldn't have even in the first instance become, a councillor, let alone the governor. And I think it is this that got Wike and Presidency embodied, that they know that he can't toe the line of leading a battle against that impunity. Like I said, if it is Abe Trotsky that is the governor of a state, you want to tell me that a presidency will think that he will impose a state of emergency and he will go away with it? It's not going to happen. Even in 1999 in Lagos State, between Tinubu and Obasanjo, despite the fact that Tinubu was at least there was still some modicum of opposition against his regime. Obasanjo regime couldn't have gone. It was unable to go all out. To do all of the thing he did against Lagos government at that time, because Tinubu at that time was on ground. He was mobilizing. He was only able to stop the local government fund. He couldn't stop the state allocation coming to the state. And that is what one would have expected someone like Fubara to do. But unfortunately, like I said, he lacks capacity to do it, because the way he got to power ultimately determined his fate. Immediately he got to power, itself.
I mean, irrespective of how he came into power, he was already been declared the state governor by the constitution, nonetheless. But that's besides the point. The issue now is: do you think he made this political calculation wrong by going all out against the Godfatherism of Wike? He should have probably, I mean, this is similar to what happened between, since we're citing Lagos State, what happened between Tinubu and, of course, Ambode. Ambode came into the governorship of Lagos State, of course, through the political Godfatherism might of Tinubu. And of course, when he became the governor, he wanted to, according to reports, that he wanted to stray away from the Godfatherism of Tinubu and become his own man and rule the state the way he sees fit, and to use the full resources of Lagos State, because of course rumors still have it that because of the kind of mechanism put in place by Tinubu administration, the state still pays Tinubu certain allocation from the resources of the state. That if rumor is anything to go by. And of course, Ambode wanted to stop that and use the full financial might of the state to bring the state, I'm talking about Lagos State, to how it should be, instead of the billions and billions of naira, going to the pockets of Tinubu. And of course, Tinubu fought it, and then he won. And of course, Ambode ended up becoming a one-term governor. And then some politicians, did a political calculation and said Ambode did a very good fight, but at the wrong time. You should have, they say, be a fool until you get what you want. You should have just kissed the ring for the first tenure and then use the second tenure. Of course, while kissing the ring, he used the first tenure to consolidate as much power as he can. That at the second time, by that time he has nothing more to lose, he can now fight a good fight and then do what he wants and be his own man. People have said the same thing, that Fubara should have done the same thing. They should have learned from the Ambode mistake. Do you think that calculation is right there?
There's no such a calculation. Even if he has done that, it's going to still backfire.
How so?
Why? Thank you. Because the Lagos you just made reference to is almost similar to what happened in Rivers State. And that is exactly what I've been saying. How about they came into political scene as a novice? He has no political base, no support base. He only rely on, the support base of Tinubu to become the governor of Lagos State. And now trying to use the state power, having become governor, to now severe relationship with that same base, it will be difficult. But it could have been different, because what is the motive behind severe relationship? It's just because Ambode himself want to turn himself to a political emperor in Lagos State, just the way Fubara too want to severe relationship with Wike and turn himself to a political emperor in Rivers State. That is what they want to do. Another that kind of situation is there's no way, there's no amount of calculation that you want to put on board that is going to, undermine the Wike of Tinubu, as the case may be, especially when Wike is even having a state power or federal support behind him. But it would have been different if the basis for the disagreement is about, okay, we want more schools to be built in Rivers State, we want more hospitals to be built, we want more jobs to be created for the youth in Rivers State, or as in Lagos State as during the Ambode. If that was the disagreement and he made it open, and he's using the state's money to build school, he's using the state money to build hospital, he's making the state money to create job for the people in River State, and it become obvious to the people, and people could see it, that this is what he's using the state's fund to do, and that is the basis between for the disagreement between himself and his godfather. You could see that people are going to rally around him spontaneously, and that will decimate and undermine the power and the influence of Wike automatically. He doesn't have to wait the second term, neither do you have to wait another term. It's something he can do even the first day in office.
With the kind of politics we play in Nigeria, you think that is I mean, some may say that is easier said than done when you see the huge influence that Godfatherism have in politics. I mean, it's a worldwide thing, but a country like Nigeria, with the kind of politics we have, Godfatherism plays even like 90% influence. That is easier said than done with the kind of politics we play.
It is possible. It is possible, but it's very difficult, and that is why people like us have always, insist that the way you get to power, it's as important as what you do when you get to power. I've seen a lot of people, advising me that with all of this your brilliant idea, political view, and the rest, why can't you join any of these big political parties? Parties of billionaires, and just hide your programs and gets to power, and once you get there, you can begin to implement them. And my response has always been that, those who want to put their money on board to launch you into political power, they must also make calculation of what you also likely to do once you get that political power. So they are going to put measures in place to ensure that one is also pocketed once it gets to power. And that is what has always been happening. We saw it with Wike, we saw it with Fambode, we saw it with Gige in Anambra, against Fubara. So it's not a new phenomenon. It has been. And that is why we are saying that, this bourgeois capitalist policy democracy we have, or civil rule we have today, it's a government or arrangement that is designed to only satisfy the needs of the few billionaires, not the interests of the mass majority of the people. And as long as that remains, the poverty scale of mystery that has been the major feature of our society today will continue to be. Look at how much, life that has been wasted in River State within the period of 6 months. Money that's supposed to have been used to build hospitals, to build schools, to create jobs for citizens in that state, and now be preferred away, through a very undemocratic arrangement called, emergency rule. And now, Fubara has been returned. What has Rivers people gained? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, and these are some of the signs to tell us that what people mistaken to be called, mistaken for democracy today in Nigeria is far from it. What we have is just a mere civil rule. A democracy is not meant to be a government of the minority. It is meant to be a government arrangement for the majority to satisfy the collective, the interest of the majority, not the interest of the minority. Those who benefited from this emergency rule in River State were just few. If you take away Tinubu and his acolytes in the presidency, Wike and the people at his periphery, there's no other persons that benefited from the emergency rule in River State. And now, after 6 months, they returned Fubara. What happens to all of the excuses given to justify the imposition of the emergency rule in the first instance? As the vandalization of pipeline in River State stopped, as insecurity in River State stopped, And that is to tell you that all of those initial justifications were just name excuses, just to ensure that they perpetrate the aberration on the life of the people in that state.
So you also made mention of course, quite a number of political and current affairs analysts have said the same thing, that the local government elections that was conducted a few weeks ago, that it's illegal and it's null and void, that the sole administrator had no power to conduct local government election. But the huge question now is, what does INEC think, in as much as, RCEC, that the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commissioner, that the electoral commissioner in the state, is the one conducting this local government election. It is overseen by INEC. So do you think INEC, if INEC see, I guess if INEC see those elections as legitimate and constitutional, then who are we to say it is unconstitutional and illegitimate? I mean, INEC should know better.
I know the State Electoral Commission are also independent of INEC.
Okay.
They are independent of INEC, and the members are often.
But if INEC knows and sees that the election conducted is illegitimate, wouldn't they have said something or done something about it?
And how legitimate is INEC itself? Because that is where we have to also start from. Even the federal elections conducted by INEC, how reliable are they? But if we move away from that, the state electoral commissions are even independent. The only relationship they have with INEC is to get electoral voters. I mean, the electoral register. The state electoral commission, they will be the one to print the form. They print everything they use. They conduct the election independently of INEC. INEC has no hands or influence in the election. The only thing that's always link them together is to get from the INEC the list of registered political parties and also the voters register. Those are the two documents often.
INEC couldn't have done that or gotten involved at all if they think there's no point. The sole administrator has no power to conduct a local government election. They wouldn't have bothered.
It's not the sole administrator that will request from that. Request that from INEC. It is the State Electoral Commission.
Yeah, that was appointed by the sole administrator. Remember.
The basis for request could be different from they can request for it even without conducting election. And moreover, the request itself must have even been made, before the imposition of emergency rule. Don't forget, one of the issue in dispute was also the question of how to conduct local government election. So it's not impossible for the Electoral Commission in Rivers State to have even gotten the voters register earlier, before the emergency rule. The sole administrator could just use the one that have gotten to just conduct the election. But the truth of the matter is that illegality cannot conduct legality. That is why we are saying that the election conducted by legal sole administrator cannot be seen to be legal, and that's all of the outcome of that election has to be cancelled, and a fresh local government election has to be conducted in Rivers State.
But someone has to facilitate that, and who can do that? The PDP in Rivers State as worse as the national level of PDP. They are in disarray, and they are the ruling party in the state, and of course the other oppositions in the oppositions in the other party, I mean, besides APC, which is of course the big winner in this whole brouhaha in the state, but are they strong enough to mount any kind of challenge, or do they even have the political will to mount any kind of challenge against the local government elections that were conducted?
No, people will be saying, don't forget there was, I mean, a strike declared by Nigerian Labour Congress at the time in Rivers State. That is just a potential of what can happen, in that state in the coming period. And the fact that the voice of opposition is not prominent at this stage doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. There will be pockets of agitation, clamor for cancellation of that election. And over time, who knows, that may gain echo such that it become a massive and a popular demand in the state. And at that stage, one would have expected someone like Fubara, to also come into the fold, and also see how he provides a leadership to such kind of a call. But like I said, Fubara now is in state of a total submission. And that you'll be able to raise a single finger now against whether Wike or federal government is not something that is guaranteed at this stage. But nothing is completely ruled out. If anybody says that Fubara will at any time even say no to Wike, you say no, that will never happen. But it happened. Even though he was defeated. But the fact that he did that also means that I can still do it again. Life is not static. We must always understand that.
So the big question is, what happened next? I mean, he's been installed back in democracy, as it were, if you can call that democracy, has been restored back to the state. The governor, the deputy coming back to the government house, the River State Assembly, they have to resume plenary. I mean, what happens after now? I mean, you said that he's been brought down to, the governor has been brought down to total submission. Some may say at this point, to the end of his tenure, is definitely going to be a puppet governor. With a position with no power or authority whatsoever. The FCT minister and the it's now like so some would say the de facto governor. The continuation of his governorship after 8 years of as a River State governor. And Governor Fubara is now a puppet governor to the end of the tenure. Do you agree?
Well, that may appears to be so at this stage, but like I say, nothing lasts forever. Nobody knows what happens tomorrow. We're all human beings, and life changes.
Do you think do you think the governor still have a little power in him to mount any sort of opposition to Wike?
Yes, he can, and that is why the people in Rivers State
despite this humiliation and utter powerlessness.
Yes, don't forget. If Fubara was ready, to stage a battle, he will have to a large extent enjoy some mass of support from the people in Rivers State.
Some will say you're more optimistic than most.
That's what.
Some will say you're more optimistic than most because several people already saw this as a defeated battle.
It is not. It is not because life is not, like I said, life is not fixed. It's in state of perpetual flux. That's about life. Life is dynamic. Someone you think is your friend today can turn to be your enemy tomorrow. Someone you think you have, made to be in a total state of submission today may decide to rise against you tomorrow. That is how life works. But what, like I said, at this stage, it appears that Fubara has been defeated. But you cannot completely rule out a situation whereby the people, agitations and the clamor of the people in Rivers State may still strengthen, may still strengthen Fubara as time goes on.
But,
and he may want to rise up and exercise his executive power in defense of the people in Rivers State. You can't rule that out.
Would you advise him to keep fighting or to just remain defeated? Because, I mean, on that issue, there are two camps, though. One camp that says for the good of the states, issue keep doing the yes sir. I mean, because as you've pointed out earlier on, for that 6-month battle, the state residents of that state, they've lost a lot, and some persons have said the energy the governors used to fight Fubara, that energy would have been better used on the people of Rivers State. And then they've said, okay, thank God, because of this peace, at least for peace to reign, let him keep the submission going. And then you have the other camp that said, hey, you should keep fighting and fighting. The point is, two elephant fighting, it's the grass that will suffer. So what do you advise you do? Keep fighting or just be submissive? I mean, at this point, there's no need saying that he may come back in second term. There is no second term for him. That's for sure.
I did not see any elephant here. Neither did I see any grass.
I mean, the elephant. You don't consider Wiki and Fubara's war as two elephant fighting.
The truth is that, which I think fundamental thing we have to understand is that Fubara was elected as a governor of Rivers State to ensure that the collective wealth and the resources of that state is used for the mass of the people in the state, in terms of building school, in terms of building hospital, in terms of creation of jobs, in terms of improvement of infrastructure. That is what Fubara is elected to do constitutionally. He was not elected to submit the resources of the state, for the use of either Wiki or presidency or the president. And you must get that clear. So, what is expected at this stage is Fubara to rise up and begins to exercise his constitutional responsibility and duty, which is to ensure that the resources of that state is used for the benefit of the people in the state, not for the benefit of Wiki or the president. And that is the task before him, and the people of the state have the responsibility to start holding him responsible, accountable, to ensure that he exercises this constitutional right, no matter whether he will listen or not. But like I said, nothing is ruled out. Sooner or later, the Fubara that appears to have been captured, subjugated into a super state of prostration today, may decide to rise and begins to move against, against the political gladiator, his godfather. You can't rule that out. Okay. But at this stage, the advice one can give Fubara is, now that he's returned or is back as the governor of Rivers State, he should still continue to see how much he can exercise his constitutional right and perform his constitutional duty as the governor of the Rivers.
Well, we're here for the drama. We'll definitely be here to see how things unfold. Let's see what the remainder of his 2 years is going to be like. Will he mount a fight, or will he submit to the might of the FCT minister in Nyesom Wike? It's always a pleasure talking to you, Comrade Bamgboye. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your insight.
Thanks for having me.
That was Abiodun Gbangboye, acting national chairperson, Socialist Party of Nigeria, SPN. Okay, the phone lines are open for you to make a contribution. 0700 903 903 903 or 003 692 9933. You can also call or text us via WhatsApp 081 717 56338. Again, you can also call or text us. The phone lines are open. Time to make your contribution. 0700 903 903 903 or 003 692 9933. You can also call or text us via WhatsApp 081 717 56338. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Welcome to VOP. Good afternoon. Tell us the name where you're calling from.
This is Afunwa. I'm calling from Edimu.
Okay, Afunwa, talk to us, sir.
So my own test is let Fubara resign as the governor, make he hand it over to the weekend. Let them continue because that your seat now go there hot for Fubara. Tell me where the state of control local government election when we have a democratic governor. It's unfair. So let Wike continue where the soul has been set of stop. So that's my own contribution. I don't have much to say. Thank you.
Thank you. 0700 903 903 903 or 003 692 9933. You can call or text us via WhatsApp 081 717 56338. We have some messages on WhatsApp. Let's read them. Good afternoon, VOP. They can bark, not bite. People who did not contribute to Fubara restatement should allow him to be and not mislead him anymore. The toothless bulldog. Congratulations to him. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Solomon.
Thank you for joining us on the show.
My name is Chika. I'm calling from Alabado.
Okay, Chika, go ahead.
That your name. I like calling you because I have lived with those people in my area in Chomolu often.
Okay.
I love that name so much.
Thank
it's a number of deeper life.
Thank you. Thank you.
Often, I like that name. You see, my brother, there's not much talk about this issue. You see, most of our leaders don't think twice. This life. But I live for the world of 50 years. Are you hearing me? They don't think twice. There's a portion in the Bible, a certain rich man said, I have acquired wealth for myself. My soul, relax and eat what you like. God said, tonight, stupid man, I need your soul. They don't think twice. Open. If they're not a cause to worry, what do they call him? The 15th Fubara. Though, it's once an accomplice, it falls weak to do some certain things in that place. But it's the grass.
Oh, we lost him. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Solomon.
Yeah, welcome to VOP. Good afternoon. Tell us the name where you're calling from.
Yeah, I know you are calling from Shango.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
This resumption of Fubara, analysis, the man that invited talk better. I will even want Fubara to insist on the influence of the people. Let him come transparent. Let him come unique to the people of River State. And let also work with learned people of River State. People who can give him a full of bucket. And let him be very careful in choosing his work. If his duty to come for River State is what he ought to do, let him go ahead and do his service to the people of River State. If he is not for wicked, even though at the process they impeach him, let him know that wicked is the one that caused problem and he will reap what he sow. Let him be very tactical in doing his job genuinely, and let him be very careful so that he cannot commit himself as a fool. That's my take. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, on our live stream on YouTube, I have some messages here. Let me read them. You can watch us via YouTube. All you just have to do is click that YouTube icon on your smartphone or your laptop or your desktop computer system or your iPad. Just click the YouTube icon, then go to the search button and search VOP903FM. It will take you to our platform, and then click on the live button, and then you can view our broadcast. So I have some messages there. Let me read them. From Fidelis Ogunude. Good day, Solomon and the guests. We have forgotten that anything that comes through the dubious way cannot survive. Nwike imposed Fubara on the Rivers people, so nothing will make Fubara enjoy that seat. Okay. And Afunwa Dama, good afternoon, house. Please make Fubara ask. Make Fubara Rising ask governor. Make a hand over to Wiki. Okay. Another message from Phil Terhamba. Fubara should respectfully hand over to Wiki and start fresh strategy. Context come 2027. Thank you. Okay, back to our WhatsApp messages. Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon. It sounds ridiculous and irritating when someone said that Fubara could have done this or that when Mr. President declared illegal emergency rule in Rivers State. Are we strangers in this country that we don't know the reasons and how all those played off? It is clear to us that Mr. President and Wike did what they did just to capture the state from PDP to APC. I don't even understand your guest and his analysis. Tinubu, Wike and Ibas masterminded everything that happened in River State. It's never for the benefit of the people. Raf from Satellite Town. Good afternoon, VOP Kena from Ikorodu. This one, Jonathan said that when you try to wake up a man who pretends to be sleeping, it will be very difficult to wake him or her up. Tinubu is telling Nigerians that he never knew they have 40 cases in River State. But when he was a governor, he resisted Obasanjo. How can he believe he would declare state of emergency and go to bed to sleep well? This to say Nigeria has been defeated where no one can question or speak out for whatever happened. God save Nigeria. Okay, now. On the issue of Fubara, the PDP is telling Fubara to remain in the party. If they really want to stay with him, they should still go ahead with the case, and is still pending in Supreme Court. And if the court declared an emergency was illegal, then all the activities done by the administrator will be declared null and void, including the local government election. John from Ijaniki. Good afternoon, Solomon FM and guests. Comparing Obasanjo's regime to Tinubu's presidency reveals stark differences. Obasanjo adhered to the constitution, whereas Tinubu's administration appeared to disregard it with allegations of dictating to the judiciary. Tinubu's tenure is marked by perceived indiscipline, corruption, and a grab and run political approach. Endangering democracy. Unlike Obasanjo, Tinubu's actions seem driven by self-interest, exemplified by the imposition of emergency rule in River State, undermining Governor Fubara's democratic mandate, which had been truncated by Tinubu and Nyesom Wike, and had also been caged by these dictators. Obasanjo's respect for democratic principle and the rule of law is notable in contrast. The current regime's action raised concerns about the country's future, leaving many to wonder and praying fervently for God's divine intervention. Mr. Ogumbiyi from Idimo. Thank you very much, Mr. Ogumbiyi. A good day, please. It will be totally wrong to say that Fubara cannot be re-elected. Nobody can determine tomorrow. After all, we cannot conclude if Tinubu will be elected in 2027, and Wike in his human calculation cannot determine what is going to happen in 2027 election. Time shall tell. Emeka from Abeson Estate. Thank you very much, Emeka. Good day, Solomon Asika from Motions. Fubara's self-esteem has been taken from him. That's why it seems as if he is hiding from going back to the state house. Do you know what they have done? It looks like someone whom have been raped and has no dignity. He should have resigned initially from this shame. Thank you very much, Solomon Asika. Fubara, welcome back. PDP abandoned you for the lion to devour you. After fighting with the lion alone, they are coming back to you. Okay. Good afternoon, VOP family. Good afternoon, King Solomon. APC is a failure from the beginning, so let master strategist Tinubu continue to manipulate himself, not the mayor. Late Buhari and Tinubu started with lies and deceit, also propaganda, and they will surely end up with lies and deceit, also propaganda. Mayor from Ikotu Egbe. Thank you very much, Mayor. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to VOP. Tell us your name, where you're coming from.
Good afternoon, King Solomon Ofem, the wise one.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
On River State issue, in fact, I commend Mr. President for his proactiveness when he declared the state of emergency in Rivers. And I also thank him for not resorting to panicky measures. You know, when people were telling him that he was wrong in declaring that state of emergency and that he should restore or suspend the state of emergency immediately. I, in fact, thank him very much, and I commend him for not suspending that state of emergency till a lapse up to 6 months. That is till he did it that yesterday. Now, it is clear that Fubara has learned his lessons. I believe that there are two things for him to do. Either he resigns between today and Monday, when he will find out that probably the environment is not conducive for him to work. But if he feels that he can still go on, then he has to abide by the terms and conditions given to him, because he was the one that forced himself to a corner ab initio. He wouldn't have behaved this way, because this thing was given to him on a platter of gold. He should know that he's a technocrat, he's not a politician. It is Wike that actually made sure that he came to power, despite the fact that many people have told Wike that he, Fubara, should not be given that chance. But he gave him the chance because he had been a good boy to him as the accountant general of that state when he was in power. So I think it's left for Fubara to behave accordingly, because if you don't like it, you don't near the kitchen. You don't go into the kitchen if you don't like it. So
okay.
And there are people like the late Edwin Clark, were people that pushed Fubara to this Waterloo. So he should be well behaved this time around. Okay. Otherwise, we should also understand that the 27-man assembly is there.
Okay, thank you
very much. This is Peter Usifo calling from Abaranja in the country. Thank you.
Okay, Peter. In a bus that has two drivers, we know there will definitely be a problem. If Fubara returns to his seat, he will be a paper tiger because he lost his authority already. Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon and the guest. I am Chime Ziem from Ijesha-Tedo. Governor Fubara has been reinstalled as the governor of the state. We just need to know that what so ever evil man sows, that he or she will reap. He would have believed this would be happening in Asari Dokubo's own state. No one. Who would have believed this would be happening in Asari Dokubo's state? No one. I want to believe the outgone sole administrator has a church he goes to, and saw him. And saw him go for Thanksgiving. That's how bad the church of today has become. Because a man who calls himself a pastor and Papa conducted that Thanksgiving service all through the 6 months. Pastors that have reason to be national pastors didn't come out to condemn the president's action. Why? Because they've been bought and compromised. It pains me when I see that and hear people say, let Fubara surrender. Growing up as a children, my dad always tells us that, still keeps telling us, it's better to die for the right cause than living for the wrong cause. So can Nigerians be living with this mindset? And let's stop being cowards. Thank you, Mr. Solomon, and good afternoon. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello.
Can you move away from the radio or TV set, please? You've almost blown my ear off. Okay.
Mr. Solomon, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Okay. Please, you have to call us back. Go to a quiet place. The noise is drowning your voice. We can't hear you. Go to a quiet place and call us back. The place you are is quite noisy.
I'm on the road.
Sorry about that. Go to a quieter place before calling us. The noise is drowning your voice, man. We can't hear you. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon.
Good afternoon. Tell us the name where you're calling from.
My name is Shola. I'm calling from Egeda, Lagos.
Okay, go ahead, Shola.
Now, Fubara is coming back. And, the notion of some people actually speaks volume of why the country is the way it is. Now, the last caller is his opinion, but many have that kind of opinion, saying that he should have learned his lesson, he should conform, he should be a good boy. Now, my question is, the question we're supposed to ask is that democracy, is it not government by the people, for the people, and for the of the people, by the people, and for the people? But for people that are supporting loyalty to individuals, we are building people instead of institutions, telling us that the interest of some individuals should be more of priority than the people that are to be governed, the people that are to be served. Let me put it that way. Because if you are a leader, you are supposed to serve the people. The structure they have been talking about, what the president did is that he handed it over back weekend, and Fubara will now be a puppet. That is what some people are advocating for. And you think this country can move forward? No, let's be sincere. This country, with this kind of mindset, will never move forward. I agree. Fine. Somebody made mention of that. Wike single-handedly brought Fubara. On that scale alone, it means that Fubara might not initially be the way of the people who was imposed. But if he has been democratically elected, why should you now use such power to remove him? Why did the president declare state of emergency in the northern states?
Okay, thank you.
So, if this kind of mindset doesn't all go well for this country is going nowhere. Thank you, Mr.
Okay, let's go back to our YouTube stream. Mr. Solo, Fubara has nothing to hold on to. He's powerless at the moment and can't blame him. Rather, the corrupt system. What happened in Rivers State is pure abnormality and a state capture. That's from Emodi Ralph. Thank you very much, Emodi Ralph. What is Peter Osifo's ideology on government and governance? You think PBAT, he was proactive. Now, wow. That's from JP. Hello. Please move away from your radio or TV set or switch it off totally before calling us, and go to a quiet place. You can't be calling us in a very noisy place. Please, you guys should not blow my ears off, please. Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Cole. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to VOP. Tell us your name, where you're calling from.
It's Joffo calling from Solar Kingdom.
Okay, Joffo, go ahead.
There are things I want to say here. We did not defeat Fubara. The Supreme Court defeat Fubara. It was system that defeat Fubara, not Wike. So people are saying that Wike is in that. No. Supreme Court defeated Fubara. They are that useless. Okay, up to today now, the case of 27 lawmakers is still a Supreme Court. They are not saying anything to today. So the system is bad. It's polluted, and it's a disgrace to humanity, and it's a disgrace to our democracy. It's a shame to them. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Solomon. The absence of rule of law, impunity will be order of the day. Look at what transpired in River from a state of emergency to the elections conducted by the sole administrator. So they intentionally removed the rug of Fubara. Unfortunately, I want to ask, is this democracy under the government that entered through the back door of INEC and judiciary? It has been rigged. It has been rigging, vote buying, imposition in what transpired in River State and other parts of the country. Laws has been turned to lawlessness, impunity. It was put in APC structure through the back door using state of emergency as cover up, also turning a secured country to gangster paradise. While they turned the economy to a disaster, they turned the people to beggars and almajiris in the midst of plenty. This is Lekon from Lagos. Thank you very much, Lekon. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to VOP. Tell us your name.
This is Adebayo speaking from London.
Okay, Adebayo, go ahead, sir.
No, I don't know whether you work in it on television this afternoon. You see the type of system you're going here for so many years now. If you have to elect, there's no way you want to be Nigeria president or governor without having a godfather. It has been created is there, except one way or the other. It takes our condition or we need to do another system. Look at what UK is doing now. He has look at he really well. You see what Barry did. He went under somebody to learn the curve and realize that that's the only way he can become president and become a president. Look at what UK is doing now. He's learning under the president. Learning seriously, surrender to a completely under the president. He started doing something in the future. If you are there now, I say, okay, so I want you like to be governor of your state, and you agree, I thought you are there, you agree, I say, okay, you are going to be the great governor, and you are there. And then, after that, somebody will come and say, oh, you are the governor, you can save the whole thing. You can never work. It's either you leave them with the system they operate now, and maintain your style, maintain your integrity, or you go inside and join them. Don't be surprised when the president of them is going to buy corridor. In the future, if the road state the system, we can win Nigeria. Go and mark it. You say somebody tell we can win Nigeria. Because you have gone down completely under the president, and it's learning faster. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Lanre JP, Michigan. The president and Wike mission accomplished. Fubara has been crippled. Now they have his remote control at hand. Rivers indigents should wake up from their slumber. Lanre PJ, Michigan. Thank you very much. Please, if you don't switch off your radio and TV set before calling, I will cut you off. You guys will not blow my ear off, okay? So, and then go to a quiet place before calling. Hello.
Yeah, King Solomon, good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon. Welcome to VOP.
Please, I want to ask, did we get fall from a tree and become a governor? Did we get fall from a tree and become a governor or a minister or a chairman of the government? Did he fall from a tree? Somebody sponsored him. Where are they? We get an offer from a tree and become a governor. She is dead. He came near them before the good Godfatherism wife, and they made him what he is today. Are they troubling him? Are they troubling him? Somebody made him a governor, made him a minister, made him a government chairman. Are they troubling him? They are just to operate. Why now? Why is wicked being so wicked and adamant? Wicked is also from sea or from heaven. Somebody control him and see. All the is alive. They got wicked and punish him. And so I'm bringing outside. Today, Wike is trying to be blue stubborn. Why like that? Why you cannot play? Wike is not God.
Okay, thank you. You
No,
didn't
no, hold on. You say Wike was born with somebody. I don't know him. Who is Wike? The whole is Wike.
Okay.
Everything.
God.
Wala too much.
Hello.
Mr. Solo.
Welcome to
You
VOP.
But then the rap for satellite out.
Okay, go ahead.
Something go make you so stay, you go turn anger to laugh. My life just the worker. Make I tell you, what did happen for River State? Nobody should apply for it, you know. Someone said that we should, Fubara has learned his lesson. Fine and good. He has learned his lesson that you must obey Godfatherism. He has learned a lesson that any president can come out and declare state of emergency in the state without anything. Or an elected governor can be dethroned and appoint any minister or what they call administrator to take care of the state. One thing about this country is that we always like to applaud abnormality. And let me tell you, if we continue like this, we remain where we are. What I'm suffering today is like, I will pray that my children will not suffer it, I'm not suffering, like what we're witnessing today, I pray my children will not witness it. But how can we not witness it when these guys are already pushing their children, teaching them how to be rugged? Whether we like it or not, the abnormality in most of politics we play today is from Lagos State. And it's from Tinubu, from governorship to this moment. I'm telling you the truth. All the issue of rigging of election, buying of voters, kind of ballot boss, all this administration now has started. Other president without doing it. So you can see how this is going. And other governors are learning it. Can't take the whole state now. Even in Anambra State, those still Soludo now, they don't want anybody to paint their own poster or billboard. They're learning from Lagos State. Look at the kind of dirty games we play politics now. We expect Nigeria to be good better. What happened in the State? Nobody should applaud for it.
Thank you.
So we can't be a victim. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. King Solomon, good afternoon. Fubara should honorably resign himself before he is impeached because a wise man looking black, a man from Laughing White Teleota, does not fall twice without a Hello.
Hello, Solomon. Hello,
welcome to VOP.
Hello, this is Colin from Ogun State.
Okay, go ahead. I can hear you.
So, please, I want to tell you something. These people that you are cutting off, they have suffered and get you now. See, I've called you more than 100 and something times now. I can't get me. So, it's until when you get me that I will off my radio and talk to you. So that if somebody suffer and get you like this, you call the person off. If you can't get you again now, the person will convert and stop listening to your station. Please,
well, you successfully called me without blowing off my ears. I'm sure every other person can do the same thing. We understand, but I mean, we just have to try. Good afternoon, Solomon, the wise man. Please read and let your listeners solve the above riddle. Okay, Comrade Godfrey from Surulere. Okay. Hello.
Hello, Solomon.
Yes, so good afternoon. Welcome to VOP.
How are you? Good afternoon. My name is Patrick. I'm calling from Abaronye.
Okay, Patrick, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, that a Kate man that calls from Abaronye there. I want to suggest that he should be sanctioned. Wike started his career there. He has never done any other job than politics. After his university education, they put him in the park there as a local government, whatever. It was somebody that sponsored him. He became governor. So he was not under what's the name of the former minister, Rotimi Amechi before. It was under him. So Odile and Co. polished him and brought him up. They put their fingers in his eyes while he was there as governor. At the end of the day, he doesn't want to relinquish that seat. It's a minister, it's a governor. He wants to be a godfather of the host. What of the people that brought him up? Are they not still alive? It's only not there. So those archaic men saying Fubara should too because they brought him up in Shona, what are they saying? That we should continue to practice Godfatherism in this country. This modern age, I think that man from Abaranje should be sanctioned.
Okay.
In every station, that is how he speaks. I don't want to mention his name so that he will start, he will not punish me there. But that, go and take other stations, that is how he behaves.
Thank
It's
you.
a house working for APC.
Thank you.
Please
Thank you.
sanction him.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, Allah. Well, I'm also seeing so many messages about him. I would not read those messages. Please, make your own contributions, okay, without having to refer to him. All right. Good day, please. Oh. Good day, please call his support about emergency rule in Rivers State is not tenable. The president committed infringement against the constitution by removing an elected governor. Let us remove political interest consideration and analyze issues better so that our democracy can stand the test of time. Mimika from Abeson State. Good afternoon, Solomon. What matters the left Fubara? Where are the whalers for good 6 months? Fubara have learnt its lesson. No market noise can distract him anymore. Emmanuel. My take is on the just concluded emergency rule in Rivers State. All I have to say is the president should send the chief peacemaker Ibas to Benue or Zamfara State to replicate what he did in Rivers State by restoring peace. This illegality would not last. I'm happy I switch off my radio for 2 minutes because a cartoon man, John from Ijaniki. Thank you very much, John. Not just Rivers people, Nigerians should wake up from their slumber. In Nigeria, anything goes. Okay, Chimizim from Jesha, though I've read your message before. I have to sign off, so Lekon, I've read your message before. Mr. Solo, tell your callers to turn off their radios immediately. The line is ringing. You're not expected to hear yourself when speaking. It's simple. It is simple indeed. Okay, unfortunately, it's time for us to go. Tomorrow is another day. I'll be right back. Same station, Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Same time, 1:30 p.m. And same program, Matters with Solomon of FM. I'll be right back tomorrow. Subscribe to all our social media handles, VOP903FM. Follow us on all our social media handles, I beg your pardon, VOP903FM, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at VOP903FM. I'll be right back tomorrow at 1:30. I am Solomon of FM. Good afternoon.